Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let Me Just Say This. Your girl is back on the mic with you. If you are watching, hello, hey, welcome to the living room. We have a special guest, which is my homegirl, Ashley, my best friend, or one of them. But well, I have two, but I'm introducing Ashley first because she is she is calling in, so I'm gonna just have her somewhere in the video. Okay, I don't know where, but she's gonna be somewhere. Anyway, it's somewhere. I don't know how to do it. Maybe between us. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. But the point is, welcome to another episode. Here we are again. Jay is here on the couch.
Hi.
Hello, hi, hello, hey. Today is, listen, I've never been married, but I hope to get married one day. These two, one of them is married, one has been married and will probably be married again. And I hope that you stay married. But the point is, here we are. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys about that because I've seen a couple things. You know, social media, they have a lot to say about marriage. And I feel like it's a lot of single people or people who've never been married talking about marriage. And so I felt like, okay, if I'm going to talk about marriage, I want two people who are actually experienced to talk about it with me. I'm learning now, like, as I get older, it's not like graduate high school, go to college, find your person, get married, live happily ever after. Things are different. And this is a great segue actually to the different dynamics of marriages, because I don't know, I guess I grew up thinking that marriage is supposed to be one way, and the older I get, the more I realize this shit is not at all unilateral. Like
Very
at all.
fluid.
Very fluid about
fluid.
And how every other person, like, this was on the list of things to talk about, but gender roles, like in your marriage or even in your relationship. I feel like gender roles in marriage comes up a lot on social media. Like a wife will do this, a husband will do that. And there are certain gender roles I subscribe to, but I actually don't have any shade to anybody who subscribes to something else, because I just feel like stuff like that is so subjective to your situation. Mm-hmm. But I know just what I won't do or what I will do. But now I'm learning, I'm like, okay, some women are okay with being the breadwinner and taking care of their husband. Some men are okay with their wife having a boyfriend. Like that shit. I know it's a big jump, but it's true. And the more I talk to people, the more I realize, especially people who have been together for a long time, been married for a long time.
I mean, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't married to this man, but I basically had a boyfriend.
She had a man, but she also had a boyfriend.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were comfortable with that. He didn't mind it. We were in a long distance relationship, but we had a conversation about that. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I was talking to you the other day about, like, you know, like this sexual aspect of a marriage and keeping it spicy. And she's just like, if my nigga fuck another bitch, bop that. And
no,
I'm like,
listen, no.
But at the same
you can't. No, listen. Hear me out. I need monogamy. My future husband, if you out there, I love you, baby, but listen, we got to be monogamous. That means I for you and you for I, and that's it. Okay? However, because I'm a little freak nasty, we can occasionally dibble dabble, and that's only if I trust you and I rock with you heavy. And that's like 10 years, 11 years, 12. That's not a normal occurrence. But you ain't fucking no bitches without me. You're not fucking nobody without me. I have a question.
Would you rather your husband come to you and be like, hey, baby, I'm having these emotions, like things ain't been right, blah, 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 blah. Or would you rather him go out, do something dirty, and then find out you cheated on him?
Just come and tell me.
Then what you gonna do? Because you just said you wanted monogamy.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. I still want monogamy. Just because he comes and tells me, hey, babe, I think I want to be with somebody else, or I'm interested in another person, I could be like, okay, if that's something you don't think you could fight, if that's something that you strongly desire and you don't feel like you can be monogamous anymore, then I can either make the decision of just looking the other way or leaving him. Those are the only two options for me. I would rather tell the truth, because the thing about cheating, especially in marriages, I'm like, let me shut the fuck up. The thing about okay, in a happy marriage of people who wanna be together, if cheating is a betrayal in your marriage, if cheating is real life cheating for you, I think that's more disrespectful to lie than come out with it. I feel like if you're married and you're dealing with somebody else, you should be honest. You
Dealing
should
with
be
somebody
honest.
like in a whole another relationship type somebody else, or like they just fucked up
It don't
one or
Both.
matter.
two
I
Both.
think it
times.
doesn't matter. I yeah, it doesn't really matter. I just feel like, okay, if it were me, I would rather my husband just come and tell me straight up, this is what it is, this is the word, versus cheating, especially I find out. Now I feel more disrespected that you lied to me. I feel more disrespected that you didn't tell me.
You
When
gonna
I
be
got
keying
cheated
cards.
on, I might. No. The thing is, when I found out that my ex cheated on me, it hurt because I was like, "Damn, what does she have that I didn't?" However,
Mm,
what hurt more was that he lied, and I was like, "Damn, you supposed to be my dog. You supposed to be my homie. Now if we married and we locked in, and you supposed to be my like, you're my number one go-to, and you lie to me and play around and especially play in my face to the point where I find out for real, nigga, now I can't fuck with you. Now I really can't. I mean, sexual desires and lust, that's natural. But the communication aspect has to be there. If you're lying to
yeah,
me, now you're disrespecting my intelligence.
I feel like people that love people lie more because
Mm,
um for one, they don't want to hurt that person, but they allow their feelings and emotions to get the best of them. And two, um, they don't want to face the consequences of it. So a lot of people lie because they don't want to face the repercussions of what they've done. Like you made a choice, you made this decision, and now you have to face the consequences. And it's easier to lie so they don't have to face the consequences. So that's why I
well,
feel like a lot of people lie,
of
especially in
course.
marriages. And then also because I mean, some people really just did not want to hurt that person. They just allowed their emotions and their thoughts to take over and they did what they did.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're all human. But I
mm,
mean, it's not an excuse, but we all are human. We make mistakes. But I mean, I've always had that talk with whoever I'm dealing with as far as like openness in a like marriage, openness in a relationship, because I actually don't mind open relationship.
open
Like,
marriage.
yeah, open marriage. I would get married.
I'm flexible with that.
Yeah, like I
I
don't
mean, yeah.
go ahead. See, she's the only one that's like monogamous over
I'm a
here.
real cause no, if I bro, I'll be
I
monogamous.
feel like okay, like but Anaya, like I'm with you. Like, well, before I got married and everything, like I was truly like we with each other. We,
That's it.
it never crossed my mind to like do that. But you know, you never know. That's a conversation that you
You
can have with your
never know.
partner.
But the thing
You
about
never,
it
you
is,
never know what you would be open to do in your
okay,
marriage.
but I be loyal to niggas that's not my nigga. Imagine my husband, there's no other man ever. And even if I had a thought like, okay, let's have an open marriage, I don't want to be with another man. Cause if I'm with another man, you can best believe I probably like that nigga. I probably like him. If I'm thinking of an open marriage because of a sexual issue, then we got a bigger problem. If I want to fuck on
Definitely.
somebody else and not you, we might not need to be
Yeah,
together no more. But if I want to be with somebody else and have an emotional attachment, boy, you better hope he don't start making me fall in love with him more than you. Cause then you're the boyfriend and he's the husband. Like, no, I don't see the point. Like, is it just for sex or are we actually catching feelings? Like, and I'm a lover girl. No, I can't do it. I don't think
I
I'm built
mean,
for it.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Since I was 16, like I have always been able to separate like my emotions from um, my sexual like times or the people that I've been sexual
I
with.
can
So
most of the time.
yeah. Mhm. So it's easier for me to say like, "Oh, I wouldn't mind being in an open relationship because if I go out and out with my girls or I'm on vacation or whatever and I have sex with a man, like I'm never going to talk to that man again. Like I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with, my male partner. That's the only thing I would say is if we're in an open relationship, it has to go both ways. It can't be let me fuck on this bitch, this bitch, this bitch. When I go wild, I'm gonna be doing my thing and I gotta sit at the house and look fucking stupid.
Boy,
hell no.
If
it's gonna be if it's gonna be open, it's gonna go both ways. And that's it. If it's either gonna be open both ways or monogamous. Because we not in that time frame where you could just do whatever you want to do and then I can't do what I want to do.
And you know what? Especially being in the military, you see and hear about all these marriages being in open relationships, and open marriages, and half the time the fucking spouse doesn't even know that shit's going down. Yeah. So it's like, so it's just a one-sided open relationship. But I feel like it comes down to maturity. Like, both of you guys need to be mature about it. Both of you guys need to have that line of communication. And you both need to be on the same page.
I feel
if you're going to continue doing it, if you're going to stop doing it, however you want to go about it. Do you want people to know? Do you not want people to know? It boils down to you and your partner.
I feel that. But circling back to me potentially catching feelings, let my man catch feelings for his girlfriend. It's gonna be a bunk bed casket. Cause what do you mean you like that bitch? Hell no.
Oh, hell no.
No.
Bunk bed
casket. No. You he doesn't get fucked up. Ain't no way he gonna come home and tell me, yeah, I think I like her. Bink, I'm finna bop you straight in your shit. Cause there's no way. There's no way. It has to be if I were ever in an open anything, y'all just fucking. If I find out you taking this bitch on dates, you spending money on this bitch, you doing all this shit, you need to go over there, drop that dick off, bring your ass home.
But that's the thing though, like, okay,
they be in relationships with these bitches.
No, I've been in an open relationship before, right? I've told you that. So it's like you make fucking standards at the beginning. It's like, okay, we're gonna be in an open relationship, but this is the shit that you can't do and you can do. And if this shit comes up or comes about or stuff like this shit starts happening, we need to let each other know so that we can make the decision on whether we want to move forward or we want to cut it off or we want to do this or we want to do that, what our boundaries are. So if he falling for this person, he comes to you and tells you, I get it.
It's over.
But I'm saying, like, it's like, okay, so what you want to do? You want to be with her?
You have to pick a side.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at that point,
I think only one person deserves your heart.
But even like,
and that's
like, if he comes to you and he's like, and he's telling you this, and you're sitting there and you're like, well, you gotta pick. Are you really gonna? And let's say he picks you. Like, are you really gonna be comfortable for the rest of the time that y'all together because you gave him the choice and he picks you?
No,
and you gotta be like side eyeing every time.
No, like, if I'm not gonna give him a choice. We made an agreement. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy, but we made an agreement. We said, okay, we're going to have an open marriage. Our boundary, at least for me, I'm going to tell you right now, unless I'm in a certain tax bracket, which we could talk about that in a minute. The boundary for me is it's strictly physical. Right. No emotion. Right. Once you get your emotions involved, you're cheating on me. You've cheated on me.
That's agreeable.
You've cheated on me, and now I cannot trust you. Because we set the tone, and you went beyond it. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck if you came and told me or not. You still actively chose to go beyond that. Right. And you knew I wouldn't like it. You knew it crossed my boundary and you did it anyway. Mm-hmm. And now I consider it cheating. I don't consider it. Now we're in an open and that's just what happens. Like, nigga, no. If boundaries are there to save the marriage, they need to be solid and they need to be respected.
Right. Yeah. Like you've already, and especially for somebody like you've already compromised yourself enough to open up the marriage and then to like make the marriage last, and then he overstepped that boundary too. Like that's I get it. Like that's like a done deal for me. Like it would be, but most of the open relationships that I have seen or I have witnessed, they don't allow it to get to that point, because if that person starts catching feelings, they cut it off immediately because they know who they want to be with, right?
Yeah.
They know that this person over here is my main. Like, that's it. No ifs, ands, buts. I don't care how you feel. A lot of them are honest about their situation when they first come into it. Like, hey, I'm married. I'm in an open relationship. You can deal with me if you want, or you cannot. But I'm telling you, I'm in an open relationship, and it's just going to be sexual. And if they come in it like, okay, I can deal with that, and then they catch feelings, they get cut off.
Well, I guess that's just how it's gonna go. But now, listen, if I'm in an open marriage, I don't
You
think
ain't
I
gonna
could
be in
do
no
it.
damn open
I couldn't do it because
marriage.
once it
Yeah,
at the moment,
you're not.
I'm not.
Never.
The moment I consider it, I probably should just leave. Cause now I don't like that nigga no more. Cause the way I be obsessed with my man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't want nobody else. I'll slap the fuck out of another nigga. He come at me crazy about my husband. Boy, please, my nigga will spin you. Stop playing. I'm just such a ride or die. And that's why I can't be doing that shit for a nigga that's not my husband. Cause I know how hard I'll go. I know how hard and how much love and how much support I can give. Baby, when I say I'm gonna make that home, I'm gonna make that home. That's why I can't do it for a man that ain't my husband.
So I have a question. How do you plan on, I understand like dating, courting, going on dates, having conversations, blah, 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 blah.
I don't know.
But how do you plan on showing this man like, hey, huh?
Taking it to the next level.
Right. How do you plan on showing this man like, hey, this is what I want and this is what I have to offer, and make your choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, is you gonna fuck with me or is you
I
not?
think it starts from the beginning.
Right.
I think when I'm like, okay, I'm looking for my husband for real. My son just scratched me. I'm gonna beat your ass. Listen, when I'm looking for my husband for real, I will most likely be upfront. Like, I'm in this to get married. I don't want to just be in a relationship forever. I want to get married, and I just need you to know that's where my head is at. And
You remember what happened last time you did that?
I mean, but still, I'm gonna lie? I'm gonna be
I'm
like,
not
okay, let's
saying
just
lie.
see where it goes. I feel like if they know that I want to get married, I feel like that's the first step. Because I feel like sometimes if they don't know that's what you want, or if they don't think that that's something that you are expecting, they think they could just drag the shit out. And I'm like, I'm not. No, I'm dating with intention. Maybe I don't even say, hey, I'm trying to get married. I just say, hey, I'm dating with intention. I'm in it for the long haul. Okay. Over time, I think gradually I will do more things, but I'm the type of person that I need reassurance. So at the time that I was doing that for that man, I was getting a lot of reassurance. Don't get me wrong, there were flags, there were red flags, but we were also like super young. I was 19. Like I didn't know. I didn't know like, okay, Naya, he don't have his finances together. You should probably just cut him off now. At the time, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be okay because this is the person I want to be with. So I'm gonna rock out with him. So, and mind you, the cheating didn't come up until like almost 4 years later. So at the time I'm just doing things, I just felt like, okay, now I'm gonna slow that down. I'm not gonna be doing so much. I'm not gonna be doing so much. I'm gonna let him show me. And then gradually as I get that reassurance, I'm like, okay, this is what this could be. And I think I'm not selling anything. I'm trying to be a partner. I'm trying to have a teammate. I'm trying to have someone that I can go through life with and have fun with and love and we enjoy and we want to bring and build together. That is something you're going to naturally pick up from me. That's not something that I have to sell you. I don't have to do a pitch. Like I feel like like okay, this person is somebody that actually brings something to my life, and I think that that's something I'll give. I think that's just something I'll naturally do, especially if I'm in love, especially if I'm getting to that point. I'm like, yo, this is my one. They don't know how hard I go. My friends know. If my friends know over time, because you don't start a friendship doing too much, do you? You still get to know somebody. You still be like, okay, this is my homegirl. I'm not gonna loan her $100 though, because I don't know her that well. But now I'm like, Jay, call me. She needs some money. Here, right? Because we've built that rapport.
Right.
I think a rapport has to be built first before you start doing that type of shit. And then at that point, he'll know. And if he don't know, then I'm not the one for him.
He know, he just don't give a damn.
That part. That too. That too. That too.
Speaking of
She go.
starting off with like, hey, I am dating with intent. I plan to get married.
They be cosplaying.
Ooh, the facade.
the facade.
Do you think that is a good way to be? Or should you give them the key to the castle?
Double-edged. If you tell somebody exactly what you want, sometimes they will give that to you just to get what they want. And they might not mean it. And I feel like now somebody who's so quick to give you exactly what you want or what you are expressing you want, you should be weary of. Because it might sound good. It might feel good. Like they're doing this, and this. And they're treating me this way. And they're doing everything I want them to do. Okay, it's the beginning. They're doing that because they're trying to get you. They're trying to get you. And once they got you, they change. They introduce you to a vibe they cannot maintain. And I think you can't give up too much too fast, but I don't think there's a problem with saying, I want to be intentional. I'm not dating for funsies. Like, I actually want something serious. I think that's a baseline. If you don't want anything serious, then okay, now is your time. But if I say, okay, I want to get married in 3 months and I want to have kids in a year, and they play to that shit. No, I'm just saying, an extreme. But and they play to that shit just because they know that's the only way they can get me. Which obviously, I've been in that situation before.
Exactly, and that's why I was like, let's talk about it.
But then again, he was doing a lot of the things that I wanted early on. But I will say, once the tides started to turn, it was much easier for me to be like, oh, okay, well, I see what you're doing. It was much easier for me to start detaching once I realized, like, okay, he's on demon time for real. He's playing with me. But the people who play the long game, the long con, like them niggas on 90 Day Fiancé and shit, like trying to get their visa. I can't imagine that.
That's how my ex-husband was.
Yep. The long con?
Yes. The long con.
I never told you the story about my ex-husband.
I mean, you told me like bits and pieces.
I really don't be telling y'all shit.
I know it.
No.
Well, keep it short.
We still love you.
So basically, like, I fell in love with a facade. Like, he introduced a vibe he couldn't maintain. We got together. Mind you, I was young. I was 19 when I met him, 20 when I met him. So I was 20 when I met him. And I just wanted to get out of my parents' house. He wasn't from the area, so it was just like, okay, I don't gotta deal with him knowing a whole bunch of people. I don't gotta deal with him having fucked on a whole bunch of people that I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was new, he was fresh, he was inviting. And I fell in love with this facade, like this person that he wanted me to see, but it wasn't really him. And then, as the months go by, he starts really like rearing his head and showing the type of person that he was. And by that time, I was so head over heels in love, 20-year-old, not really knowing what love looked like for me. I know I've seen love, you know what I'm saying? My parents have been married for 35 years, 34 years, somewhere along there.
Somewhere in there.
They've been married for 30 plus years. So, I know what love looks like, but I don't know what love looked like for me. So, I was head over heels in love, and I'm just like, okay, at this point, like, I'm finding messages.
God, today I gotta blow that.
Girl, finding messages. He messaging his ex-wife, talking about he want his family back, messaging his ex-girlfriend, like all of this stuff. But got the nerve to like follow me back to my parents' house, like, oh, we need to talk about this. Like, you were caught. So gave him another chance.
Busted.
We get married. I find more messages about how he's gonna find this girl that he was dealing with in the country that he got stationed in.
Crazy.
And was like, we're gonna get married. He was married to me. How are you gonna marry her? You married to me. You know what I'm saying?
Selling another fantasy.
Facebook. It's like, I get on his Facebook because I'm about to put this like little cute message about how I want a puppy. I got all his passwords, mind you. I'm finding message after message about bitch after bitch that he's talking to. Like, I'm talking about months talking to bitches. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, he sold this oh, I want to be in a monogamous relationship. If you ever feel like you are going to cheat on me, mail me my ring back and blah, 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 blah. But yet every time I turned around in our relationship, he was talking to another bitch. I don't care if he was fucking him or not. I watched Steve Harvey and he said emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating.
Worse.
I would have gotten over him physically cheating, like, oh, that bitch didn't mean nothing to me. But he was carrying whole relationships with these women, telling these women I hadn't given him a reason to fuck off yet, but it was only a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, being so young and like, okay, you know, I want to try this. I want to make this work. And then he basically blamed everything on me and said that it was my fault that the marriage didn't work because I wasn't doing this and I wasn't doing that. But it's just like, you're 14 hours ahead of me. I still work because you're blowing all of our fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, everything was my fault at the end. But, you know, after all the growth and all the healing, and it took me 5 years to really get over it. Like, I just hid away from it. I didn't really talk about it. But like one day I really sat down and was like, I really got to get over this shit, because a lot of that stuff was bleeding into my relationships at the time that I was trying to like move on and grow past it. And a lot of that stuff was bleeding into those relationships that I was in then. So it was a lot of like, I went to counseling. She was like, oh, he's a narcissist and like all types of shit, bro. Like it was crazy. And I would never wish that on nobody. I would never wish that on nobody.
But that's the danger of marrying someone you don't know.
Yeah.
I was love struck. Like I was
don't get me
literally blinded by something that I had never seen before.
You get something, and I just had a conversation with somebody today about that. I was just like, you were searching for something in somebody else that your husband was not giving you. And so you clung to that. But you never actually got to know that person. And then you jumped into a whole nother marriage or a whole nother relationship with a stranger, essentially, that you don't know. And the long con, like a year or two down the line, you don't know who this person's going to be. And you don't even know like the groundwork, or you haven't done like the work to get to know them for real because you were so caught up in the rapture of love. And I'm like, well, now you're going to end up hurt and stuck as fuck.
That's the difference between me and a lot of other people. Like with him, I was his second marriage. And he was 24 when he married me.
I was about to say, I was like, how old was he? Because you were 20 and he was already on his second marriage.
Yeah, that was his second marriage. But if you look at his mother,
the mamas will tell it all.
Same thing. She had been married multiple times, engaged multiple times, had, 3 children by 3 men that she was never married to. So she was constantly in and out of relationships. So when I became his second marriage, and then he was doing all the things that he was doing and telling all these other women that he was going to marry them, like the apple don't fall too far from a tree. So, like it hurt, but at the same time, I can't 100% blame him because, like you said, he didn't have any real structured relationship to mimic after. He said he fell for me because of the way I grew up and the way my parents are. You know what I'm saying? He navigated towards that. He gravitated towards that because he's never seen that before. But he still had to deal with all his demons and all his skeletons in his closets because of what he went through growing up as a child. So, and I wasn't old enough or strong enough to deal with that. Because I was young, like I didn't know what was going on. Like if I would deal with him now, like it would be it would have been a different story.
Yeah.
But I was very young. I didn't know what I was going through while I was going through it. So.
Well, thank you for the lesson. That's why I don't regret it. My ex in the situation was really hard. But I don't regret it. I would do it again. Because I'm like, okay, I learned so much from you, nigga. No, I would do it again.
With him?
It doesn't matter. With him, with somebody else, it's bound to happen. I think.
Oh, marriage, period? Like
no, I mean like being in a situation with somebody and them showing you something.
Just now, just be gone.
Because I wouldn't have known, like, I would have still been like, okay, everything can be happy and we're good and all this other blissful naivety that I was living in. And I'm like, and at the time, you couldn't tell me shit. You could not tell me a thing. And I was faithful too. I'm not a cheater. I've never cheated in my life. You couldn't tell me shit. I was like, yo, this is my husband. And we not once was married. We went to look at rings. I told you, this is like how we broke up. We went to look at rings. 3 weeks later, it was over. I'm like, why did you take me over here? We over here in Jared getting sized and shit. I wake up.
Did you tell him you wanted to get married?
He knew. But the thing is, he told me he wanted to marry me. So this whole time he's feeding me. It's not just me like, okay, let's get married. Actually, the gag is
relationship. Wasn't he like in a whole ass other relationship?
Yes, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. But the reason why I stuck around for so long is because he fed that to me. It wasn't like, because y'all know me. I said I'm a commitment phobe. I'm not going to commit unless I know. And once he got me, he swooped me up and he was like, yo, you're going to be my wife. And it wasn't like, you're going to be my wife and I never heard about it again. It's like every month, often, like, we're going to get married. And the first year of us being together, he wanted to get married. He wanted to elope. And I told him no. Because I'm like, we can't. I'm not ready. And I told him, like, yo, we need all of these things to be aligned first. He wanted to elope. He wanted to have babies. He wanted to do all that shit. And I'm the one who was like, nah. And I think the further along the relationship, I think he realized he couldn't give me what I wanted. The dream wedding, the dream lifestyle. He knew he couldn't give me that, but he kept me around and was like, you're going to be my wife. I love you. This is what it's going to be. And so that's why I stayed. It wasn't like I'm telling him every month, yeah, let's get married. I want to be your wife. And I'm living in delusion. Like, this nigga was feeding me a lot of shit. And young me is like eating it up. So when I found out that he had essentially an affair, he didn't just cheat on me. He had an affair. The last 6 months of us being together, he was in a relationship with another girl who subsequently was on my phone and took me ring shopping, mind you. Started cheating on me in what, September? We went ring shopping in October. We didn't break up until the January of the next year. Like, me and this nigga was in it. And so I'm like, yo, you never know. But that's not to say that I didn't see the signs. But that's just to say that, and I feel like had he told me up front, back to what we were talking about earlier, if he had told me, hey, I'm having trouble being faithful because we were long distance, I was deploying all the time. Hey, somebody here has caught my eye. Or, hey, I'm interested in so-and-so. I feel like I would have been so much more open and would have been like, okay, well, maybe we should take a break. Or maybe, because at that time I was going through it too. And I'm like, yo, if you would have told me, we could have took a break. You could have done what you did. You know, you could have had your time. But he lied and had a whole relationship. And I think that's the part for me that's fucked up. Because I'm like, why do all that?
Because he wanted to have his cake and eat it too.
That shit was fucking him up though. God don't play about me. I'm just saying. So that's why, and that's with a man I'm not married to. So I can't even imagine being in a marriage, open or not, and I know that the man I love is with someone else.
I mean, it's not
or
for
has
everybody.
been in that capacity in an emotional sense. Crazy to me. I will say also though, I've realized more now how people can be unhappy in their marriage and still be married and still be dealing with other people.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to be together. Maybe one person wants to be there, the other doesn't, and they start dating someone else. Listen, I had this conversation with someone very close to me about it because she is in that situation. And I just told her, I was like, okay, I get it because you don't want to be there anymore. You're moved on. If both parties are moved on, I'm like, okay, legally you're married. If both parties are moved on, then both of you guys just have your way, but understand that a chapter is still open.
Yep.
Nothing is done until it's done.
Yep.
And there's still a lot that goes along with that. So expectations have to be managed, right? However, if one person still wants it, I don't agree with it at all. I think at that point you're you're cheating. If your partner still wants to be with you, but you don't want to be with them and you're dealing with other people, I consider that a betrayal.
Let me talk to you about these military niggas. They be quick to be like, oh, I'm married, but me and my wife, we ain't been good for a long time. We contemplating divorce, but we only together for the kids and blah, 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 blah.
My God,
few weeks later, you know, I'm a search. And Facebook be telling it all.
We be looking at everybody. We looking at your cousin page, your auntie page,
your mama page,
your granny page. Yes, like, we know all about your family.
All you gotta do is put a name in Facebook and you gonna find a picture.
If there's a tag, if there's somebody tagged, we going on that person.
We going on everybody's page.
Find out this man is married. Lie said his wife died.
Ooh, Lord.
Let me tell you.
It's not bad.
Sorry, that's excessive.
Let me tell you what happened.
Oh, no.
So his first wife passed away from whatever she passed away young. He got remarried. He had a child with his first wife. He got remarried after his first wife passed away. He had 2 children with this wife, right? This man gonna tell me he only got 1 child and his mama passed away. I get on Facebook like, do. Come to find out, he is happily married with 3 kids.
Ooh. Now I gotta blow up your spot for real. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna break some hearts.
If it was Anaya, I swear, you probably would have like messaged her and been like,
I would have messaged her. I would have been like, hey, no, we about to set him up.
But I really feel like karma is everything. I feel like karma will do more on him than me telling his wife that he's a cheating, lying ass nigga.
Cause she's not gonna leave.
She's not.
She's not gonna leave.
She not.
Karma sometimes ain't enough. Sometimes I gotta get my lick back now, let karma get him, and then God can get him later.
And that's not the first time that's happened to me.
Cause niggas be lying.
Was dealing with another dude. One day, I'm just asking about tattoos. Whose name is that?
Ooh, that's a risky game.
Talking about, I get to his wife's name. He's like, oh, I don't know. I just woke up and it was there. Nigga, you was a motherfucking lie.
Just say it was your cousin.
No, he couldn't even lie straight. When I tell you I called my cousin because I wanted to key his fucking car and slash his goddamn tires, I asked this dude, was he married? Come to find out, Facebook tells it all. When he was cheating on her with me, she was pregnant.
Oh, whoa.
So that's another reason why I don't really be fucking with men like that. Like, they some cheating lying ass niggas.
Sometimes,
except for my baby.
Listen, I barely believe what come out of a nigga mouth now. Sometimes I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, okay, well, I hear about shit like that. Women, I feel like we just better. Days. We know how to play it better.
I got stories for days. I can tell you all day about stories.
If I know I'm married and I'm lying to you, I'm blocking you on everything. You never gonna find me. I'm blocking you. I'm blocking everybody on your friends list. But also, men don't operate like that.
And also,
men don't do that.
My name is not my name.
I'm gonna find
on
it.
Facebook, so they can't find me to block me. So, and then a lot of people that I deal with don't even know how to spell my damn name.
Oh Lord. Where'd she go? I think, okay, I still believe that there are good men who don't lie and don't cheat.
Don't do no damn disclaimers. Fuck them people.
I still believe in it. I've learned that shit get real complicated and it can get very messy.
Okay, bitch.
Because she's like, ooh, you still believe in love?
You get to fucking be all happy and shit when you talk about your goddamn relationship, but I can't be like, oh my man.
I do believe there's good men out there.
Yeah.
I honestly do. They're a needle in a haystack. Don't get me wrong. But I do believe there's good men out there. I have dated older. I've dated younger. I've dated older men. Oh Lord, older men. I always thought, because I've always been attracted to older men.
Me too, technically.
Her older is like 2 years older than her.
Wait, hold on. You aging me now.
I'm talking about 20 years, 15 years, 12 years, you know.
24
I'm talking about
years.
old enough to be my daddy. Years.
Literally.
And I've always dated older men. I've never dated a man.
Them be the ones old. You can't trust the most.
But I've noticed that with older men with dating, they've either been in a marriage for a long period of time and now they're vulnerable and hurt and I gotta heal and blah, 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 blah. Or they're the players that's like, oh, I don't want to get married. I don't want to be in a relationship. I want to be out here slanging dick. You know what I'm saying? Man. So it's like, you deal with the same shit you deal with a 20-year-old with men that's well in their, if they're not married already, they got shit with them. And it's the reason why they not married. So I was just like, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to find my man that's older. But I wound up finding them anyway.
I'm happy for you.
It's not all sugar and cream in the castle, but you know.
It's not. I don't expect things to be like sweet all the time, but I think the bare minimum of respect should be there. And if they're being disrespectful, then at that point I'm like, Mr. Nigga, you don't want me to play it how I could play it with you. A lot of times they be wanting to sit us down. They want to make sure we're not dealing with anybody else. They want to make sure that we're loyal. They want to make sure that we're doing everything for them because they know what they're doing. And at that age, I feel like the older men know how to manipulate you. These younger men don't know how to do it. They play stupid, and it's easy to figure them out. But I think the older guys, if you're younger, sometimes they can manipulate more and better, or they at least think that they can if they find someone who's not seasoned enough or who is young enough to believe the bullshit. So I don't know. I'm not finna date no old man now. That's the reason why I ain't got no sugar daddy.
I love them old.
Don't knock it. Don't knock it.
I'm scared.
I love them
old men, they be being
nasty. That's what you need in your life.
I'm nasty enough. I don't need anything else. I don't need anything else. I will say, I enjoy getting your insight from somebody who's been married and somebody who is married because you guys have such different perspectives, I feel. And especially for me, like I said, I'm still very domesticated about some shit. And I'm like, okay, well, I learn a lot from what you guys say you've experienced and how you guys operate your relationships. And not to say like bad things, but I'm just saying the good and the bad, things that I don't want to see in mine or things that I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to do that now because I've seen someone else's marriage do it like you. And you say, okay, you could do 50-50. I'm like, all right. Okay. That sounds cool, actually. For me, probably not. But I'm more accepting. I think the point is that I'm more accepting. Because like I said earlier, like, I'm like, I thought of marriage as such a linear, basic thing. And now I'm like, okay, it's actually much more complex than that. And everybody has their own way of going about the shit. So, you know, I just feel like don't marry somebody you don't know. Just don't marry somebody that's not showing you something that's for real. I don't want to see marriages fail. Like, I'm a big fan of marriage, and to see marriages fail just makes my heart hurt.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I will say like as you said, don't marry somebody that you don't know, but also know when to get out.
Know when to get out.
Because I feel like knowing to get out in terms of like, if you see those red flags, but you're trying to stay in the relationship to fight, like if you are married and you see those red flags and you just like, okay, I'm gonna stay in this because I don't want to get divorced. I'm gonna keep fighting. You need to know when to get out.
Yeah.
Because that, at the end of the day, is not gonna be a happy marriage for you.
Yeah, I hate seeing people unhappy too.
That's why a lot of these married men that have been in situations for so long cheat, because they just don't leave. It's like the marriage has died years ago, but because of comfortability or because, finances or stability or kids, they don't leave. And it's just like, you're not happy. Why are you there? Like, you're cheating anyway. Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? So
it's cheaper to keep her sometimes too.
That is also one of the things I've heard. But I just feel like, you should cherish your marriage and you should do everything in your power to make your marriage work. But at the same time, still have that notion of knowing when to get out. It's just a
if you've
fine
done
line
everything,
of
like if you've done the work to try to make it work,
right.
I always feel like you owe it at least one. Yeah, I think
therapy.
Yeah, you owe it at least one go. And that's just how I feel in general with the vows. I'm like, okay, if something were to happen, I owe it to at least try.
Mhm.
To at least try, no matter what it is. I gotta at least try to be like, okay, can I still be with this person because I vowed to stick with them?
And that's what happened with me and my marriage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like wholeheartedly try.
But if you can't try, or if it's too much, or you don't want to, you gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, I found out all this stuff in my marriage before I even went overseas with him, but I made that vow to myself, like, hey, I'm going to try to make this work.
It has to be
Even
mutual.
Even though it wasn't me that was doing the dirt. But I mean, I eventually started doing dirt, I'm not gonna lie, but it was all on the consensus of what he was doing. But at the end of the day, it was like, you know what? Like, if I don't try this or try to make it work, then I'm gonna feel like I failed myself and I didn't give it a chance. So I definitely tried and it just didn't work. So at the end of the day, like, I was more hurt by everything that had happened in the relationship than it not working. Yes, I was a little embarrassed because, like I said, all my family been in marriages for, 15 plus years. But at the end of the day, like, I was happy that it ended because it was toxic. So, I mean, trying but knowing when to quit also.
Yeah. With that being said, I don't know when I'm getting married. I don't know. I don't know.
But we'll be right there when you do.
I hope so. If I
I
get to
showed
that
her
point,
a
my
damn
God.
What
bridesmaid.
you mean you hope so, bitch? You stuck with us.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean like, I don't know. I feel like I might be like one of them women that's single for like a long ass time because I
I don't
don't
think
find
so.
the man that
Girl,
I want to
you're
marry.
still young. You're still young.
You gotta date. You gotta think about the dating pools in the area that you live. Like the
That's
dating
true.
pool here, fucking sucks.
They say that about everywhere though.
I mean, but if you go to a bigger city, you have more options. You have more
Girl,
people.
You've been in Monterey and you went to freaking where you're staying at now. Those are very small freaking cities.
Yeah,
I
like
wasn't even dating there.
I'm talking about
No,
big cities.
I just mean based on what I want. I had a conversation with my friend and we both were like, I don't know if I'm gonna find somebody that gives the love that I want, that gives what I feel like I can give, can reciprocate that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think it's like, okay, well, if I move to another city, then I'll find a good guy. I'm like, will I find someone who gives what I want, which has me also reevaluating why do I want the love that I want in the way that I want it? Is it because I'm trying to compensate or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a slew of reasons why I feel like even if I find the right guy,
You have to be
how do
willing
I
to
know?
compromise. Like,
yeah, you have to be really willing to compromise, as Jay was saying. Like, and as you said earlier, you just learned, like, oh, 50-50 could be on the table. Like, you're opening up your mind.
I mean, if it's one thing a girl gonna do, is expand her mind. But I think we all know how hard it is to find that fire and desire. That is something I need. I'm not gonna get married without it, and I'm not gonna get married to someone. I'm not gonna settle. Like, I know myself. I know that if I don't find that thing that's like, okay, yeah, this is it for me, I'm not gonna just settle because a guy is nice. I'm not gonna settle because he has money or he treats me well if I don't have the feeling. And I feel like that gets neglected. A lot of the time it's like, well, he can provide for you or he can do this and that for you. But is the feeling there? Because who gives a fuck about all that other shit if at the end of the day, I don't really love you deep like that.
Yeah, but if he gives you the feeling and doesn't have all the other shit that you want him to provide, then what?
Shit, now I'm stuck with a nigga that I'm in love with that can't give me nothing. I've been there. That's what I'm saying.
That's where compromising comes in, and that's what marriage is.
I'm supposed to compromise love? I'm supposed to compromise love, bro.
I don't think you should.
I can compromise the other shit. I know I be steadfast. I compromise enough. I compromise. But that feeling of love, that is not ever going to be compromised. If I don't feel that shit, I gotta feel that shit down to my tiptoes. And if I don't feel it, I cannot marry you. Not marriage. That's crazy. I probably could barely even be in a relationship with you for real. But marriage, absolutely not. Not when I know I want it to be forever. So it has to be right the first time.
I mean, I like seeing longevity in marriages. I've seen the ups and downs, like especially like with my parents. Like I've seen when we were dirt poor, and my mama stuck beside my daddy.
Probably love his stanky draws, no money, but loved
But
him down.
that's what I'm saying. Those are the compromises that my mom made. And now they're living a comfortable life. You know what I'm saying? But she had to go through the ups and downs with him. And I feel like a lot of people don't stick around. They leave in the bad times and don't stick around for the good ones. So um
I think
the
if
dynamic of marriages nowadays is just so very different than they were when marriages lasted 50 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because it's so easy to leave during the bad times because you already know you could find something the same, if not better.
That's what I'm saying. If I love you for real, if that feeling is there, I will. It ain't gonna be no bad time. It ain't gonna be no bad time because I'm with you. You and my nigga, we rocking together. If anybody know, y'all know I ride so hard till the fucking wheels fall off. If you think I'm gonna do that and I don't love you that deep, I'm going where the love is. Cause what's the point? What's the point? I feel like that's the point. The ups and the downs are for the times and the people, not the times. It's for the one that you love, that you love. And I mean like in every aspect, in the good ways of them and the bad ways, and who they could grow to be it if you know who that could potentially be or not, the future them, the them 20 years from now. If I'm like, okay, I'm accepting you. My mom told me this just today. She was like, don't get married unless you know for a fact that that is the one and you are willing to accept exactly who they're going to become or whatever can happen in this situation. If you're not willing to be down for them for real, don't get married. And I'm like, okay, if I'm down for you, I know shit's not going to be sweet all the time. But my golly, why suffer with someone you don't even love? Why? For the sake of, okay, the good and the bad, and this is, no, if you're not in love, why suffer? Go be happy. Or go find the love that's going to be like, okay, I don't give a fuck, we living in a box, but I'm with you.
On the other side of that though, love is not always
If it
the
ain't
answer.
there,
Like I get it. Like the love has to be there, but a relationship cannot function on just love.
No, it's not solely love, but I feel like that's like the foundation. Once the love is gone, what is there?
I feel like trust and honesty comes in with love because you can love someone and lie to them.
Yeah.
You can love someone and, cheat on them. You can love someone and, not treat them right.
Now that, no.
I do believe that.
I'm gonna say absolutely not. Not the love that I'm talking about.
I mean, I get it, but everybody loves in different ways.
You're talking about that like true, like deep.
I get it.
I'm talking about it's all encompassing. Like you would not treat me wrong. And there's too many people who love that way. There's too many people in relationships like that, where that person would never treat them wrong. That person would never do anything. Everything that they do is for the betterment of their relationship and that person. They would never do anything to hurt them. And now that makes me wonder, I'm like, okay, if that person is willing to hurt you in whatever way, knowingly, how deep is the love?
I feel like when you talk about stuff like that, you also have to realize that people are human and that some of them are selfish. So I feel like they can love you deeply and still have selfish tendencies because they don't know how to control themselves. So yes, they love you. They'll do anything for you, but they still have the selfishness within them that, they can't give you the love that you desire because they have the selfishness within them. So it's like they would never let anybody else hurt you. They would never let anything happen to you.
They'll be the one to love you the most and also hurt you the most.
Exactly. That happens.
I hate that.
That it sucks, but that happens. Like, and it's crazy, but like I've been in a relationship where I can tell you, like, I know this man loved me. Like, I knew this man loved me, but he would not do what it took to keep me because he was selfish. And that's just what it was. And that's when I had to leave for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many people out there that, you know, they'll love you to the bone, but they just can't give you what you need.
I don't know. I've never been married. Like I said, I ain't got the motherfucking answers, but I will say this. You are not about to sit up here and hurt me and then convince me that you love me. I'm sorry. You're not going to sit up here and knowingly do things to hurt me and then convince me that you love me as deeply as I love you. Because the same way you have the capability to hurt me, I can hurt you. I'm selfish too, nigga. But the thing is, I push that shit aside for the betterment of us. I push that shit aside. You think I'm not unhappy when my ex was cheating on me? You didn't think I wanted to fuck on something? You didn't think I wanted to fuck on something? Exactly. Self-control. Self-control because I love you. Because I love you that deep. Now, if you don't love me that deep to control yourself, you don't love me the way I need you to. That's how I feel.
I can agree.
My God, today. I think that's a wrap. This episode has been so crazy and insightful and long as fuck. So I'm definitely gonna have to split this up into 2 parts that will both be posted, I promise. I say I split it up and don't post the shit. I will post both parts of this. But I want to thank you guys for coming on and being so transparent and actually talking about your experiences, because I know that it wasn't easy dealing with a lot of shit that you deal with and what have brought you to where you are in your marriage, from you being divorced to finding someone new, and from me like being a certified lover girl to being only a lover girl. So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for sharing with me and spending time with me and always just being so amazing.
We ain't talk about sex on this.
Did you want to talk about sex? Oh, Lauren.
We didn't talk. Because I remember the last one with her and Austin. They got into it.
We talk about love this episode. Well, the sex will come another time. The sex will come another time, I promise.